Morning all, and in particular Ben in Switzerland. Thank you for the postcard, mate. Appreciate that. That looks like an awesome piece of kit to play on in the snow. So if ever I'm in Switzerland, I've got your number. I'll be sure to give you a call. I might have to come in the winter months perhaps. And is there a spare seat in there? That would be a ride and a half, wouldn't it? Anyway, thank you Ben, appreciate that. So today is Thursday, which means tomorrow is Friday, and the beginning potentially of our last bank holiday weekend. So the golf course might actually get some players over the weekend, so I need to go out and make sure it's nice and tidy for this weekend's players that may or may not turn up as the sun's going to shine. So on the track this morning. Get on there. So the safest way to put PTO on is the engine off, but he is out of gear, so right then. Goes from that side. These push fittings are brilliant. But if I don't want to go, they're a pain in the butt. There you go. Right. What's that? What's that? What's that? Let's go. Right, so I know we're okay for a grease because I greased it last time, and you can over grease stuff. So basically today I'm just going to go out and put some pretty stripes on the golf course, cut the grass. Actually I've cut the grass 2-3 times now with this, and with the bit of rain we've had it's actually coming back quite well, so it's greening up nicely. So that's today. Tomorrow the plan is, if all goes to plan, because I think Abby's back at home tomorrow sometime, so we're going to perhaps get the sheep in, separate the ewes and lambs. The ewes will probably end up going over to another farm, and the lambs will, well, most of them will wean off. There's a couple of small ones there which are too young to wean yet, but most of them will get weaned off tomorrow, or that's the plan. And a lot of them will then go to market next Thursday. So it's either that or we'll wean them next Wednesday and go to market, because of those of you who keep lambs will know, take them off mothers, they can go back a bit. So maybe I'll look at the market prices first and just see where we are with that. I know that out there, there's more than a few of you that look after grass. Now, whether that is lawns, sports pitches, or golf courses. And I also know that some of you will watch this and you'll cringe at what I'm doing here. So let me just explain what it is we're trying to do. So Bradley Farm, which is the name of my farm, those of you who don't already know, is and always will be, as far as I'm concerned right now, an agricultural holding. It's a farm, because looking after livestock and managing land is something that I get a great deal of pleasure out of, and it's kind of it's almost a 365-day-a-year holiday for me because I enjoy what I do. We never intended, when we bought this 15 acres of land off of the neighbouring golf course, we never even thought about actually creating a golf course, because the 25 years I've lived next door to this thing, I've hated it. Well, not hate it, but it's a strong word. People knocking the balls over onto our farmland and climbing over my fences and through my hedges irritated me. That's the mild version. That I was irritated by it. Plus the rubbish they used to chuck over the hedge. So we get bits of plastic, bottles, tins, golf clubs. You'd be surprised how many golf clubs I picked up out there. I reckon it was somebody who sliced their shot 3 times and thought, sod that, I don't want the club. Problem with that is their rubbish was getting in my kit, into my hay and haylage, and it just created problems. So when we bought the land, it was a case of, thank God, the golf course is gone. Back to farm. And that was fine. The problem I got now, though, is we bought this land, and I'm really lucky. It's lovely. It's a fantastic bit of the world. We've... what can I say? I'm just lucky. But for what we paid for it, and for what the farm can actually produce out of it, because obviously owning land is great and you've got to manage it, but you've also got to try and make that land earn you a living. The landscaping, the lumps and bumps and the tree planting and everything else out here makes it impossible to, you couldn't do arable, making hay out here. Well, you've seen videos in the past. I've made hay and haylage and silage out here. It's doable, but you know, out of the 15 acres we've got, I can probably crop 10 of that. So we kind of made a decision that the stock would be living in here because they can get under the trees, they can keep the grass trimmed, keep it tidy, and I'll make all my hay and haylage in the square bits of ground I got out there. And we did that for a year or so, and that was fine. But then Brexit's come along, and a few other bits and bobs, but and we're looking at potentially prices of lamb plummeting. In fact, becoming almost worthless. Open the door, dog. It's getting warm in here. So I'm thinking, the farm, and all farms, this isn't just me, all you sheep farmers, dairy farmers, beef farmers, everybody out there who's producing food, are sort of looking at the government, and the way stuff is going is we're getting paid our subsidies to be land managers, to look after the lands, to keep it looking pretty, to make it environmentally friendly to all our little beasties, furred and feathered and slithery, whatever sort of beast it is. That's what our subsidies are going towards. But we're not actually being helped to produce food. So I don't know quite where subsidies and stuff, that's another subject. I'll have to come back to that later on, because my understanding of it is, compared to many, not that great. But anyway, so back to the main point. I'm not telling you how much I paid for the golf course, but it was enough. But the way farming is going, I will never pay back that money. The agriculture itself would never pay for this, not in my lifetime. I'll never see that back. And I kind of like the idea of an investment paying at least something back. You know, if you're going to spend your money on something, if you spent your life saving it, you kind of don't want to just chuck it away. So for the results of my spending, I have got all this, and it's lovely, but it has to be looked after. and I have to eat a lot, and so does everybody else in the family. So we kind of stumbled onto this. Literally, this idea was started in July this year, first week of July. My wife said to me, you know, the businesses we've got together with the competition for the tree work, the other bits of pest control as well, the other bits and bobs I do. There's lots of people doing what I do, and the amount of work that is available out there for someone providing what I do is getting a bit thinner. Plenty of work for a guy out there with a chainsaw with a few certificates and not much else, but if you want somebody who can kind of do your report and write everything else, there's less demand for that. So, golf course. The golf course came in, ping, as an idea in my head. And yeah, we could do that. Maybe we could make the land earn a bit extra on top of the farm. So the golf course idea was never a think of, oh, I'll shut the farm and open a golf course and a driving range and leisure activities and all that. No. Because at the end of the day, this is my home. This is where I live. So I wanted to do something where I can go, I ain't playing today, I'm shutting the gates and the world can sod off because I don't want to know. So this was the best idea we could come up with. But the weather hasn't been that kind. We've either had huge storms of rain or just constant sunshine. So the grass out here hasn't recovered that quickly. And the equipment that I have to mow fairways and greens and tees of that is either agricultural or domestic. So so the one or two people who run golf courses who commented, I appreciate your comments, and you know what, you're absolutely spot on. You shouldn't be mowing a green with a rotary mower, because you need a cylinder mower. But a cylinder mower to mow that green, cheap second hand one, 1,200 quid. No, something half decent. A cylinder mower to cut the fairways, half decent, 10,000–12,000 pounds. So I could easily spend, say, 15k on cutting the grass, but we've only been open 6 weeks, and I've only really pushed this on social media because we never intended to open immediately. I always thought I was going to do this next year. I'd get the grounds kind of ready and open it next year, but I was talked into opening early by half a dozen golfers who, to be honest, I haven't seen much of since I've done it. So for those of you who are cringing at what I'm using to cut the golf course, a flail mower that is used to doing grass that big, and a ride-on mower, yeah, it's not right. But I don't want to spend a load of money on something that may not have legs. It may not run. People might go, well, there's a golf course over there, there's a golf course over there, there's one over there, one over there. We don't want to pitch and putt. So that's the reason why, if those of you are wondering, I'm doing it like this. It's not perfect, but I am putting pretty stripes in the ground. The grass is cut. We put a visitor's comment book in the box. It's a mixed reaction. Some people don't like the idea of playing out here. There might be a sheep poo on the green. Well, I'm sorry, because if a sheep poo bothers you, go and live in the city. We're not bothered because the sheep are staying out here. Apart from Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and this bank holiday Monday, we'll take them out. So this is still a farm with a little golf course on it. So I'm running two together. Never going to keep everybody happy all the time. But that's not all. This is a knock around little golf course that you can come and learn on. You can come and play around 1 or 2 or 3, whatever you want to do. And the chances are you can start here and not be judged. You know, all the people with their posh jerseys and their spiked shoes and their flat caps and 400 golf clubs, you know, in their bag. That's not here. There's no one here to judge somebody who's got 2 clubs and a putter and no bag. You know, a couple of tees and a couple of balls. That's what this is built for. It's for those guys. It's for people who want to start, or somebody who just wants a bit of fun, or now I'm being interrupted by my phone, so I'll come back. Right, I cut this bit in somewhere because I had a phone call and I completely lost track of where I was. So the golf course was never intended. Never thought we were going to do this. So no, we do not have the right tools and equipment to maintain the grass and the grounds properly, because we're a farm and we're going to remain a farm. So right now, those of you who are cringing and no, he's cutting his fairways with a dirty great big agricultural topper. Yes, I am, because that's all I've got for a minute. And those of you who are cringing because I'm cutting my greens with a rotary mower, although it's quite an expensive rotary mower, yeah, you're right, I am. And it's not the right piece of kit for doing the job, but it's the only bit of kit I got now. And those of you who use the big cylinder mowers and everything else, you know what they cost. I know what they cost. And this golf course is currently 7 weeks old, and we've had 3 wet weekends. Well, actually it's been pretty wet on and off for the last 3 weeks, so we haven't had that many people come through. We've had a few, and we've had mixed reactions. We've had some young folks come through and said, yeah, it was okay, but you know, they didn't like the sheep poo. Tough. Sheep are going to be carrying out here, because as far as I'm concerned, the golf course will be managed as part of the land. I'm a farmer, but another description for a farmer is a land manager. So I manage the land that I own, and I manage the land with livestock. So, because the livestock then help me pay to manage the land. And that's all we are, farmers. We're just blinking gardeners. You know, we look after the land, and we use whatever tools we have, whether it's livestock or machinery, to do the job. Machinery costs money, because you've got to buy it and then you've got to repair it. And then when you sell it, you've got to suffer for how much you've lost on it, because the dealer's got to make his bit. The livestock bit, the idea is they're supposed to make you a bit of money, you know. So you're a land manager, you're a livestock manager, and the idea is the farm earns a few quid so that I can eat and pay me mortgage and me debts or whatever else. So for the time being, although I am looking at cylinder mowers, I am looking at something that will do the greens. But I mean, let's face it, I don't know if you can see from there, we got a real rabbit issue at the minute. So I come out here and I fill all the holes in and a little bit of grass seed, whatever else, and next morning the bloody rabbits will come out and go, ooh, I've dug it out again. So I actually noticed the other day we got a bit of myxomatosis around here. So maybe the rabbit issue, horrible disease, I'm not saying it's a good way to get rid of rabbits, but maybe our rabbit population is about to take a bit of a tumble, and that will help. But the greens, we're going to have some money spent on them. Everything's going to have money spent on this to bring it up to a standard that I'd be happy with. But in the meantime, until I've bought my cylinder mower, I sold a kidney to buy it, and got it up to scratch, we are using agricultural machinery to take care of a golf course. So those of you who are cringing, I'm sorry, I didn't want to make you cringe, but it is what it is, and I'm using what I've got, because that's bought and paid for. This is bought and paid for. And until this place actually, people get to know it and maybe come in and then play it and go, yeah, I like it, I'm a little bit hesitant to spend 15 grand, 20 grand on grass cutting machinery. So, anyway, cut in with what I've already done. This is probably be a half an hour chat. So you've probably all fallen asleep by now. So anyway, so we're going to crack on. Finish cutting me fairways, putting me pretty stripes in, so it looks nice for our visitors, and get everything done today, because tonight or tomorrow I think we might be, perhaps Abba's coming down tomorrow, perhaps we'll move some sheep about. We need to wean the lambs, but I'm kind of thinking, well, I might wean them next Wednesday, because some of them are fit to go to market, so we can wean them, take the fat ones straight to market. They won't go back, because you know what happens if you take lambs off of you. They don't like it. They go back, well, 10-15% sometimes before they come forward again. So I don't want to go throwing food into them. I'd rather let them go while they're happy and healthy. Not that they're going to be unhealthy or unhappy afterwards, apart from being taken off mum. No one likes that. But they're ready. You know, some of them are like 15-18 weeks now, so. Right then, shall we go? You got a sore claw there, dog. What have you done? You got a thorn in there. You have. I think I got it. Right, I think that might be a trip up the house to get me glasses and a pair of tweezers. So I got most of it, but I think you got a little thorn in there. I reckon that's a bramble thorn. Oh. Nope. Got it. There you are, that's better, isn't it? Right, back to work.